Welcome back to Think, Create, Code. In this session, we will be looking at testing and debugging, two very important activities that we need to perform to ensure that our code behaves in the way we want it to behave. Testing refers to ensuring that our program behaves the way we want it to. It ensures that our program behaves the way we expect it to behave, given a specific set of inputs or conditions. These inputs, together with the expected outputs of the program, are called test cases. During the testing activity, we expose the program to as many test cases as possible. If in a test case the program, for a given input or condition, behaves as expected and has the expected output, we say that the test case is passed. Otherwise, the test case is failed. The more test cases we define in our testing and the more test cases our program passes, the more confident we are that our program is correct. Let's see some examples. Suppose we want to compute the sum of the numbers 0, 1, 2, 3, and so on, all the way until a variable n. If n is negative, the sum should be 0. Let's say the first value of n is 4, and our code is as follows. Remember, to define a test case, we define an input or condition and an expected output or values for the program variables. In our case, the sum for n equals to 4, the sum is 0 plus 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4, which equals, that's it, 10. A test case for our program would be. Let's see if this is so. Correct, the test case is passed. Another test case for our program would be for n equals to 10, the value of the sum should be 55. Let's see if this is so. Correct, the test case is passed. What if n equals to 0? The test case for this is for n equals to 0, the value of sum should be 0. Let's see if this is so. And again, the test case passes. What if n equals to minus 1? The test case for this is for n equals to minus 1, the value of the sum should be 0. Let's see if this is so. Correct, the test case is again passed. An important question to ask is how many test cases are needed to ensure that our program is correct. The answer to this is that we should define as many test cases to cover all the possible values of the program's input. For the example before, we have three kinds of values of n based on how we defined our problem. Values smaller than 0, for which the sum should be 0. Values greater than 0, for which the output should be the sum of all elements up to that number, including it. And the number 0, for which the output should be 0. Let's try another example. Let's say we have a program that, given a variable a, will compute the square of a if a is smaller or equal to 10, and will double the value of a otherwise. We can set up the test cases without actually looking at the code. In this setting, there are three kinds of input: those smaller than 10, equal to 10, and greater than 10. In our first test case, we will pick a number smaller than 10, say 8. The result of the program should be 64, because 8 times 8 is 64. In our second test case, we pick the value 10. The result should be 100, because 10 times 10 is 100. In our third test case, we pick the value 12. The result should be 24, given by 12 times 2. The code looks like this. Let's try the code to see if the test cases pass or fail.